Welcome back, Truth Seeker. CNN is a top story today, Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. One of their top stories, at least for the first half of the day, the morning portion, early afternoon if you're on the East Coast, has been this about John Roberts, the head of the Supreme Court, appointed during the time of the George W. Bush administration. And remember, George Bush, he was in that powerful secret society, Skull and Bones, just like John Kerry. Tim Russert asked them both about being in this exclusive secret society at Yale that allows 15 members per year. He asked them, what is it about the 322? They both laughed and said they couldn't say anything because it was a secret. But again, secret societies and numbers, and secret societies, many being based in Kabbalah, where numbers have power. They're the way God constructed and communicates with the world. Again, there's a reason the fourth book of the Bible is titled Numbers. But anyhow, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. I read in a book written in the 70s. I read the book in the 2000s, but it was written in the 70s by Faith Giovanni and Divine Bunker. Those are the author names. Or hold on, not Divine Bunker, Dusty Bunker. Faith Giovanni and Dusty Bunker. I read in the book about how there's these ciphers of the English language. And the one that the author introduced in the book, they only talked about one cipher, but they said there's over 100 ciphers of the English language. Well, what I've learned from researching this, pretty much from the ground floor up, is the alphabetic order in reverse, the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. These four ciphers are part of an interrelated system that's no doubt built into the language, just like there's multiple ciphers that are built into the Hebrew language. And the Faith Giovanni Dusty Bunker book, the one cipher they use is the one where you see on the screen where judge, gavel, John, time, they all equate to 20. That's the same cipher that Manly P. Hall introduces in his book that was written in 1926, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And the way that cipher works is very simple. A, B, C is 1, 2, 3. You count all the way up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. But what you do to each letter is make sure it's a single-digit number. So A is 1, so A is fine. A is 1. B is 2, that's fine. C is 3, that's fine. Where the trouble begins, if you will, it's not real trouble, it's just simple math. When you get to J, the 10th letter, the numerology of 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. So J becomes 1 because it's the 10th letter. K, the 11th letter, then is 1 plus 1 is 2. L, the 12th letter, is 1 plus 2 is 3. M, the 13th letter, is 1 plus 3 is 4 up to Z. The 26th letter, 2 plus 6 is 8. You just make each letter a single-digit number. So when you use that, judge, gavel, John, time, they all have this gematria value of 20. And this article is about how at the time of John Roberts' 20th term, which is about to begin, his time in office, the way they measure these terms. Again, they're supposed to be lifetime appointments, the Supreme Court, unless impeached, but they count the terms that they're in there. So he's about to begin his 20th. And another word that does equal 20 is cross. The four sections of the cross to the pagans, to certain pagan cultures represent the four seasons. Again, pagans really are a big group of people. Essentially what pagans are is anyone who's not Christian. And remember, the Catholic Church began as a sun-worshiping thing. And again, this language comes from the Catholic Church. And they gave us the calendar that they synced it up with. And again, the almost nearly the entire Supreme Court right now is Catholic and Jesuit educated. Almost all of it, including John Roberts. But yeah, just look at the overlap with judge and gavel, the exact same in the four base ciphers. I mean, compare just judge, gavel, John, time. I mean, just look at it. It's right there before your eyes, but all 20s. CNN's article focusing on this 20th term that's about to begin is they're saying he's become a lot more radical. He pledged to be a moderate judge when he took the bench. And again, at this moment, just becoming a lot more extreme. You know, they're saying this is the reason we're seeing the overturning of Roe versus Wade. But the point I'm always trying to get people to understand is follow the numbers. You'll see how these people are puppets on strings and rituals are being performed. Again, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. The name of that case equals 201. Ketanji Brown Jackson became a member of the court in a 201 ritual, and she replaced Stephen Breyer, who announced he was retiring 201 days from his birthday. And again, we know 201 is the number of the Jesuit cabal, that runs DC, that moved inauguration day to the 201st day of the year, the 20/1 date, the 20th day of the first month. Again, there's a reason we're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, who's the first to live in Suite 201, and who's also the 266th Pope in the history of the Church, and that's why he spoke in D.C. on the 266th day of the year in 2015 on September 23rd, and the Jesuit motto, Jesus Hominum Salvator, is 266. But again, just understand, pay attention to the numbers, and you can see the way the script unfolds and not get played by it, but instead become part of the people that see what it is, so you can help spread the message to help wake up your fellow man that's under the spell of this authority, that's been lying to him and manipulating him and abusing that privilege of authority, something that's been reinforced by a system. Some of us are just more immune to it. And don't forget, with regards to him taking power when Bush was president, Bush, the second one, became number 43. His father was the 41st president, but the 43rd vice president. And when he became number 43, it came down to Florida, where his brother was the 43rd governor, Jeb. And Florida has that gematria 43, just like Yale. And the two President Bushes were both members of Yale's Skull and Bones that identifies by a number, Order 322, modeled after the Bavarian Illuminati, which was founded by a Jesuit. Order 322 is a funny name because it was established, Skull and Bones, Order 322, 2 years after the founder of the Illuminati died on the 322nd day of the year, 201 days from the anniversary of the Illuminati's establishment. Remember that 201 number, 201, in Hebrew, the original letter number code system, or at least that we know of at this point in history, it's the oldest known system. It could have been before that. History going back to Babylon that's been lost. But anyway, just 201 in Hebrew has to do with, again, enlightenment, knowledge. Order of Illuminati 201, like the Jesuit order. Big number in history. Big number with the Supreme Court and its rituals, like the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Something that, just a polarizing issue that works up people on both sides. Again, this is the gang that knows how to divide and conquer. But they play their little divide and conquer game by a numerical script, and you can see through it every day. From the Trump ear wound to everything else we've been documenting for, again, next month, middle of next month is going to be 11 years. I can't remember the exact date I started, but I just know it was the middle of August 2013 was when I first came across it. Started talking about it, days after looking at it and researching it. And haven't stopped talking about it ever since. Time flies. Until next time, Truth Seeker.